Good morning again, guys. All right, a little bit more information here to share with you guys. And this is definitely why all of us sharing information amongst ourselves is important, because it lets us know the things that we wouldn't be told. First thing I want to touch on is from this morning's video, and that wall going up around the Fed. Yep, as usual. I had a bunch of you guys who live in the DC area telling me what's going on. Hal Turner, as usual, is full of shit. Okay, kind of what I figured with the chain link fence, the green fence, the concrete fence. It was all bullshit. Okay, this is just apparently a construction fence being put up from a new building, yada, yada, yada. So, yes, you can take everything that Hal Turner talked about and throw it out the window, like everything else he talks about, because the guy's an idiot. So, that's just that part. But I want to get into tomorrow. And maybe you guys see this differently than I do. Maybe you don't, okay? But I'm going to give you my take on it. And I know a lot of you guys will call me a perpetual optimist. That's fine, okay? And I'd love to hear your take if it's different. But we all know about mail-in voting and the craziness that happened in 2020. And there's a lot of states now that are doing mail-in balloting. I remember being in Utah, everything was mail-in ballot. There was no polling place to go to. I'm assuming that's probably still the same, and I think there's a couple other states that are like that. Mail-in balloting, of course, has its faults. Nothing's perfect. We get that. I guess there were ballots in Pennsylvania that were sent multiple times, even to people who lived in Canada. Whether they're U.S. citizens who happen to reside in Canada momentarily, I don't know. You know how the media kind of gives you 2/3 of the story. One of you, and I'm going to keep the person's name completely anonymous here because sharing information that it's not supposed to happen. One of you on the channel here sent me a picture this morning. They work for the post office, okay? Take a look at this picture. It's a little grainy, but what it says is SV and YV planned outage Tuesday, November 8th, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. Okay? Now, what is SV and YV? Of course, I went and looked that up to see what it is. And this is, and I'll show you this right here, this is straight from the post office. Surface visibility describes the integration of multiple systems used to track mail transported within the postal network. Surface visibility was originally designed to improve postal transportation, but was expanded to benefit the larger mailing community by making the entire mail value chain more transparent. That's the key. Mail containers are scanned within a facility to provide the visibility necessary for platform operations to better meet dispatch value for service commitments to the destination facility. Scanning on the dock allows for advanced notification of mail entering and departing a facility and provides accurate departure information for planning at downstream facilities. Quality controls embedded in the system reduce misdirected and misdelivered mail. Additionally, containers have dimensions embedded into the container barcodes so that trailer utilization is automatically captured by the application when a container is loaded. Now, this is where I'm going to say this is a good thing. Feel free to disagree. If you've got an alternate theory, go for it. The polls close at 8 o'clock. I'm assuming that this is going to be nationwide, okay? And obviously the person who sent me this works at the post office somewhere on the East Coast, okay? Because it was Eastern time. Just so you know, taking photographs inside the post office is absolutely prohibited. So yeah, the intel that somebody gathered here is putting themselves at risk a little bit. So hence the reason I'm not going to give a name. If the polls close at 8 o'clock and them doing a planned outage from 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock, that should, again, this is my theory on it, prevent any, oh, we just found an extra bag of mail or whatever. Because as the mail enters the mill, as these are called, okay, it's scanned. If the scanners are shut off, it can't be scanned until after 11 o'clock. Now, obviously, mail has to continue to go through the system. Not everything is going to be mail-in ballots. But if the polls close at 8 o'clock, that means mail-in ballots need to be received by 8 o'clock as well. So there's at least a fail-safe here where the post office is doing something to prevent, oh crap, we need to get another bag of mail in here. Let's find, whatever. So in my opinion, this is a good thing. We want honest and fair elections, no question. If we can keep strange things from happening, that's wonderful. Hopefully, there's a lot more fail-safes put into play like this, but this seems to be a really good one to me because, again, if the polls close at 8 o'clock, that mail has to be received by 8 o'clock. That doesn't mean you go to the mailbox at 7:58 and drop it in the mail. Sorry, you're late, okay? It's just like your taxes, all right? Your tax return has to be postmarked by April 15th. You don't go to the little blue box on the corner at 9 o'clock at night on April 15th and drop it in the mailbox and go, my taxes are on time. No, they're not, because it wasn't postmarked by then. Same scenario here. There will be a scan, and I don't know if they scan it by bags, if they scan it by piece of mail. I'm assuming that these are by pieces of mail, but in interest of, gee, this bag didn't show up until 8:30. Are there ballots in it? I'm sorry, too late. And anybody goes, oh, but you're taking away people's right to vote. No, I'm not doing that whatsoever. How long have mail-in ballots been available to people? A month at least? Okay. I'm sorry if you couldn't get your ass off the couch long enough to go get your ballot put in, if you want to mail it in, until, 2 minutes before the polls close. You had plenty of time, and I'll use this as an example. Christmas is coming up. Your kids expect to be opening presents on Christmas Day morning, right? You don't just go, you know what? We'll just do it next week. Don't worry, kids. I haven't finished my shopping yet. We'll open presents on the 29th. That won't fly, okay? Nor does it here, nor does it with the IRS, anything like that. I'd love to hear if anybody thinks differently, but this strikes me as a good thing that the Postal Service is putting something in play to prevent any nefarious activity from happening at the 13th hour, okay, after the polls close. We'll see y'all later. Pinball out.